Alright, so I'm gonna show you like a basic gear guide. So, like for this character, I have some gear. So like I was cheat, like this kind of okay. You don't want this. So I get like basic stuff for a gladiator like this, Sig Metal Craftsman, because it's cheap. For other classes, this is not as cheap, and plus you want to get plus 15 because it's hard to plus 15 to yourself when you're a low level. Um, so there's literally two main gears you want to go for. Let's look at that. All right, so let's go to coats. So you never want to buy one slot unless you're literally just like gonna replace it immediately. You always want to get two slot, and you want certain crafts. So there's three usual crafts that are good. For armor, it's suit, boot, and gloves are always amp. You always want amp. You don't want anything else. And then for weapons, you can go crit damage or crit rate. Crit rate's a lot better, and I mean, crit damage is a lot better for most classes. And oh yeah, so there's crit damage, crit rate, and amp you can get. Crit damage is the best. Crit rate's good if you need it. Amp is usually not that good, but if you like look at I guess orbs, it's easy to tell. Find outrageous. Okay, there's none there. Oh, I can't find any outrageous. Oh, okay. So basically, outrageous doesn't sell for a lot more. Like if you go here, you can see. All right, so plus 15 outrageous is like 3.3 bill. Oh, this is pretty cheap. So you want to go like outrageous or not outrageous for armor. These three you want to go outrageous. This one you want to like weapons go crit damage, crit rate. Try not to go outrageous, and you should all try to get either master or craftsman. Masters you want two slot, but that costs like a lot. So craftsman two slots fine. So in terms of slots for if you're like using noob gear, like this is just one slot, so it's kind of a throwaway. You can just slot it with HP steal. So that's really important in this game is that you HP steal because that's your main form of healing. So if you look here, I have 3 HP absorb up and 3 max HP absorb. So do I get that both from runes? Yeah, so I get this from ruin and I get this from ruin. So if I don't have this ruin, I won't be healing at all. If I go here, let's see, hit me. All right, so I'm at 6848, and so I got like 30-ish health just from that attack because I did 3% of my damage was converted to health, but then this is the other cap, so you can max get 35. So I get that from ruins, but the other way to get it is from Vamp 7 is pretty cheap compared to the other ones. So 5s are good to start with, I guess, because they're only 10 mil, because it goes up. Yeah, so 5s are good for now if you can't afford higher. 6 isn't really worth getting because it's just like less than half of it, like not double this. So you want to get 7s to start off. If you can't afford them, go for 5s. Eventually get 7s. And then 8's like 600 mil, but honestly, you should just go for a 9 at some point. They're kind of pricey, but eventually that's what you want. I know. Yeah. Because you want to go 5s if you literally can't get anything, or if you find like uh level 3, level 4, level 5, if you find them, or if you don't have anything, buy them. 6, if you find it, use it. 7 you should buy at some point, and then later on buy 9s. You can get away with just using 7s for like a long time though. So that goes for earrings. You starting off like really you should just use vampiric earrings. Defensive 6 and 7 is good, but like they're pretty expensive, and plus that's for like much later game. And then okay, so the difference between the different gear types is this is craftsman, and let me look it up real quick. Anything. So there's 3 crafted things. There's craftsman, then craftsman, huge success, and master. So craftsman is not good. Like the reason why is because it'll only epic boost to I think 6 amp. So this is only 7 amp, but if you read the epic option level on the screen, it says 1 out of 3. So this can go to 10, and this can only go like 6 amp. Plus it's 1 slot, so it's pretty garbage. So you want to get like something like this, and also there's different craft options for different gear. So this is defense for plate, or HP, and then boots is also got sig. Sig you get resist skill amp, or you get defense, and then I mean sig boots. So suit you get defense or HP. You get resist skill amp or HP. Oh no, sorry, resist skill amp or defense. And then gloves, I believe you either get um, resist crit rate or HP. Oh no, defense on here too. So you can see like these are kind of the same, but this one costs a lot more. One because of the divine, also because it's the 2 resist crit rate is really good for war and PvP. It doesn't really do much in PvE. A lot of stats in the game don't do much for PvE. Obviously, the PvP additional abilities are just PvP. Same with PvE, just for PvE. So all of this will only work on like non-players. This will work on players and only players. And then I guess there's none. Okay, yeah. So these 3 are just for PvP, like at not players, anybody else. And then these other stats, some of them work on player, like some of them are more meant for players than for bosses. So like early bosses, you only really need these stats because they don't have like they don't have like all these extra tank stuff. Like they don't have like the early bosses don't have resist critical rate. Like if I go here, I can show you and see it. Okay, so this literally has no stats, no stats. This one has ignore pen, so you'd want more pen or more cancel ignore pen, ignore pen, ignore pen, ignore pen. All right, so this one has a lot of extra stats. CA7, so it's just ignore pen for like a few of them. This one has ignore X3, ignore penetration, resist skill amp, all of these. So what this does is it puts your ignore accuracy lower. I mean, it puts your accuracy lower when you're attacking him, basically. And same with like the other stats. So, um, it'll basically cut off your number when you're attacking. You won't see it, but that's only if you don't have ignore. So I have one ignore resist critical rate. So if his stat is like, oh, I have like 5 resist rate, then it goes down to 4. The same with damage. If he has like 30 resist critical damage, it'll go down to 26. But if he only has like 3 resist critical damage, it's only gonna go to 0. It doesn't go below. And then so the stats you want to maximize really are like sword amp, like the amp you get for if you're a sword class, go for sword amp. If you're a magic class, go for magic amp. But you want to go like a high amp, high rate, high damage build. And then you also want to get like a. So these are sig weapons, just because like this is just for fun. So I'm not trying to be really strong on here. But let's look at blades. So the reason why you never wanna go, you either wanna go like sig metal, uh, arc or palladium. Demonite is really hard to plus 15. Like I don't think you can by yourself unless you're like really lucky. So you either go sig, arc, or palladium. You don't really go forcium because it gives a lot less base. So if I go to sig, plus 20 is 442 attack. This is 587, so that's why you want to go like higher options. So sig is the last high item, and then palladium is the last highest item for cores. If you look at the different cores, like high cores and highest. So highest will always give more stats. Like if it's the high, if it's like the same plus, or if it's a higher plus, it obviously will. But you want to go for like sig metal or palladium, or arc sometimes too, because it's. So plus 20 is 548. Oh, it's katana. Whoops. Alright, so 563. Uh, so it gives like 111 extra attack on blades. Also, you can either really go katana or blade. The difference is I think you need more dex for katanas. Yeah, you do. Oh wait, I didn't check. Yeah, so you need more dex for katana, but for blader, you usually just go dex build anyways, because it's a lot better. And another thing is, you usually don't want to go unless you're gonna throw it away or just break it, because you can't sell these items. But if you were to buy something like this, at the top it says character binding item when equipped. So if you equip it, it'll be bound to your character, while like crafted items are not bound. There's also items that are purple, like they're not craftsman but they're unbound. That's because you have to buy an unbinding seal to unbind it. So like this is unbound. Most of these are gonna be unbound. So the good thing about this, the reason why this is more expensive than this, is because when this you equip it, it's bound to you. But if you equip this to you, it's not bound to you, and then you can see that this piece of gear has the epic option level boost. So you can boost that level back all the way up to this 20, and it won't be bound because this is a green item. Not all green items are unbound, but majority are. Some dungeons drop the green that's bound, but most dungeons green is unbound. So for crit damage, it's 10. For amp, it's 5, and for rate, it's 5. I don't think I can find any. And then for Daikon and Greatsword, it's doubled. Honestly, Daikon is really good because you're forced to take more dex, and also is that you get a lot more attack rate. So this gives 3084 for Palladium. 3084. This gives okay, I don't think I memorize there. Okay, it's like 3.1k. So it gives basically gives like 600 extra attack rate. So if you play warrior, you're gonna notice you miss a lot. That's why Daikon is not that bad. Like I'd honestly am trying to build make a Daikon for my warrior because I just like it better. You do miss a lot less. So you went over weapons and stuff. So accessories, I wouldn't really worry about most of them because they're really expensive. So I have this on here because I got it from events. So that's a really good way to get them is just like do some events. Don't like spend mad money because you'll waste most of it. Like just try to do an event where it gives a kind of chaos, and like try to just get one for yourself and then keep it. You shouldn't try to plus it because you can see and when you're trying to plus this, you have the chance to succeed, but you have the chance for the item being destroyed. And now it says the success rate as well, so it's 30%. So if you want to take the risk and get rid of it and then be like, oh, I don't have this item, it's up to you. I recommend not messing with that. So try to get it from events or, just buy a cheap one that's like +4. Eventually you want to have at least +10 of each. So like it goes for all the chaos accessories, which is like, this is chaos, this is chaos, this is chaos, this is chaos, and this is chaos. So for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accessories, you want to just like afford like just buy it. You can try like to make one, but it's gonna cost a lot. And so just buy like low plus for now, or like if it's too expensive, leave it alone. Doesn't matter too much early game. Mid game, like that's what you really gotta focus on is like getting your accessories because you probably have your gear. And then late game, it's like yeah, you need +20 of all accessories. Well, these don't go to +20. This goes to +10, and then you can craft it into a higher version. So you want to do that late game. So like, these basically don't worry about this one. This one for a charm, you probably want to buy an amber because that's the best. Oh, it's the charm. All right. Oh, that's actually not that bad. So you want to aim for a +5 because you can see that you get the 4 seconds extra battle mode, and on this you don't get that. So +5 is where you start getting that. So this is only 1.4 bill, but amber is 3 bill. So if you just want to get one +5, then buy the cheapest. But the other option is to buy like this isn't worth getting. Like this doesn't do much. So you want to go like a +2 amber, which isn't too expensive. Or it's +3, I don't think. Yeah, 333. So basically, you just buy this for now, or like eventually, it's not super important. But you just want to fill most of the slots so you get your stats. So going over this. This is a new item. I really don't know much about this because I can't run the dungeon, but it gives like some cool stats. Don't worry about vectors for like a long time. It's not really necessary because like they basically make your skills stronger. So like for Bloody Risk, I get more stats. That's basically what vectors do. So it doesn't affect you all the time. It's just when you use your certain skills. So Apollo, you just want to get a +6 at least because they're like 500,000 owls. And then you want to go Forcium, and then after Forcium, just leave it alone. Doesn't give like a huge stat increase, so just like get Forcium and keep it for a while, and then later think about upping it to whatever you want to do, depending on how much money you have. For a bike, If you just want a bike, buy a blue bike. Like that's whatever. Just break it later, collect it. They're not that expensive. Um, so blue bikes don't go as fast as RW3s. So I think like a +5, +7 is faster than a +15 blue bike. And you can make a bike if you want on your own. It's much cheaper to buy it, like 90% sure. So buying something like this is good because there's lots of events where you can get scrolls off of people, buying it from them. So you don't want magic attack. So basically, if you look, the main thing is like amp, crit damage, rate, max crit rate. That's it. So it's those four: it's amp, damage, max crit rate, and rate. That's for RW3. Later on, QW7, there's better options. Like no, the only better option is penetration. And then for also, there's different converters for bikes that give different stats. So it just rolls you a random one. Like I think there's 4 levels. So if you can see it says crit damage +9, that's green. So it's not the highest option. It's the sub option. So I think that's the second lowest. Um, let's look. These you can't epic boost. That what you get is what you get, and then you have to reset it. Yeah, so this is like the worst crit damage is 7, I think. 9. So usually for this, amp is okay, but you want CD. I don't know the differences because I can't find them. Amp, CD, or rate really. You don't want to go anything else. Destruction's not good. You can go like make a bike like this if you really like war. It'll help you a lot. Like I have one somewhere. Oh, I have this one. So this is like just a pretty cheap bike that I made. And then you can buy scrolls from AH, or you can like mega trying to buy them. So bike option scroller is what they're called. Oh, this is 1.5 bill. And then looking at medium of this, it's only like 150. Oh wow, it's 60. Wow. So that's a lot cheaper to make. For is this bike? You don't need this. It's literally just for PvP and like war. What you should aim for is like getting an RW3, like something like this stuff. So that goes on bike. You should get a pet immediately, like as soon as you can. Just because you want to level up to level 30, it goes to level 30 now. If you played before, costumes don't worry about really. Costumes you can worry about at some point, like get your gear first, because costumes can feel like what you're missing. So there's a lot of different stats. These two are really expensive to make, so I just random it. The regular costume is not that hard. So what you typically want for costume, penetration is good. Resist crit rate is good for war only. Really, it's not good for PvE. So penetration, amp is not good. Like it's decent, but it's not that good. So you want penetration, max crit rate, or critical rate. Why do you want to get these in here again? Because they give a lot more than in. Wait, no. Damn, do I not have a costume? So in a costume slot, I'll just tell you is that they give different stats. So it gives 4 crit damage to amp, and this gives like 7 amp in slot, but it only gives 2 MCR. So the trade off is a lot better is in here because this is 1 to 4, and that's 2 to 7. Wait. Wait, no, no, okay, so it's not that much better in gear. I'm not sure, but you want to get MCR, rate or pen. Those are the best options, just because you want to maximize your crit rate, and you can't even put crit rate in like other pieces of armors. You can only put MCR in suit and glove, and this you only put amp. Helm you can do rate or CD or amp, because you never want to slot 3 slots of CD. It decreases the amount you get in total. So you want to do like a rate, crit damage, or crit damage amp, or crit damage rate amp. You never want to go like triple slot anything, especially triple slot amp is like really really bad. All right, so that's most of the gear. So for bracelets, yeah, buy this. This will hold you out for a long time. So you get this, and then I think this is too expensive. Oh, actually, no, it's not that bad. So you can buy this later. I don't think it's that good though. Early game, hold on to like something like this for a long time. All right, sorry. So I'm back. So you want to keep this for a while. Later, you can get this if you need the MCR. If you can fill the MCR, then get this. For bracelet, this is literally the only thing you get. Is Sienna with the penetration and slot. That's the best. You can even tell like if you just scroll down, all the expensive ones are penetration. So with this, you get random stats again. You can't change them. That's how they come. So you see the more expensive ones are the better stats. So like 6 and 5 damage is really good. Those are the kind of stats you want. If you scroll down, you can get a cheap one early game. This only gives 2 crit damage and 23 attack. So these aren't that good, but they have the penetration, so they're gonna be better than Prius. They're gonna be better than what's it called? Bracelet of Fighter. So these are really good. Their other sets aren't that good. The orange ones, but later you can just save it for like a decent one at some point. So that's what eventually you go, just like penetration Siennas. For rings, you eventually just want to get like immediately as soon as you can buy a Murgref. They're one mil. Just buy it. Killian is a little bit more expensive. It's 150 mil. I can't really say it, but I have never found one because I found one the other day, and then I found one a long time ago. But I only found 2 in like 400 runs. So good luck. Maybe that's easier now because like the game's a lot easier to run that dungeon. So to craft that, you have to get a Black Cat's tier. So I remember that it's an extra 50 mil. Oh, it's not on this character. All right, so then after you get that, and then you can buy or farm with your like guildmates, get a Tyrant's Ring. So first you have to buy this ring. It's not crazy expensive, and then later you buy this ring. So you can't get this ring unless you already have this ring. So you buy this, and then you do the quest. You get a ring, and then you buy this or find it, do the quest, trade your old left ring for a cursed left ring, and then you get this. So first you get this, you get a different ring, and then later when you get this, you craft it into this. Same with Killian is that you take a Murgref and then you craft into this. So the reason why these are good is because the only things you want in ring is crit damage and crit rate. Like you get extra stuff for free, like in Tempest ring you get penetration, and in Mazel you get penetration. But I don't have those on here because it's just a side character. Eventually you want those, but right now like this is good enough. This isn't that expensive. This isn't that expensive. Tempest is also not that expensive, but it's like 900 mil. But the thing with Tempest is you have to buy a slot extender high. So this is like 3.8 bill. So eventually, you want to get that, but it's not a priority since it's so expensive. So that covers rings. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so the empty slots that I have is critical ring. You want to buy a critical ring +2. You don't want to buy a +1. Later buy a +2. +3 is like what you eventually want because I think +4 is crazy expensive. Yeah. And then Ring of Luck. Before you're level 200, all you really need is a Ring of Luck 2 and a Killian's Ring, and you're set. Like that's all you need. When you're level 200, you're gonna have to buy a level 3, and that's because if you go over this, so this says 33. That's the max critical rate you can get. So if I put 4 critical rings, I won't get all the critical rate. I'll only get like 33. That's the cap. And I believe if you're not 200, the cap is 32. So that's why another reason getting level 200 is really important. For Amulet, I think early game, this is pretty cheap. I don't know if this is cheap still. It was cheap in the past. Alright, this is still cheap. You can get this. This is really good early game. But eventually you don't wanna buy these really. Or actually, no, you can buy them because this is what you want to get as a purple. And it's only 1.5 bill. I found 2 in like 1,000 runs, so you can just buy it eventually, or just run it with a guildie or somebody and get like a. So there's different classes. Orange is the best, purple is medium, and then like green is low. So you don't want to get low. You want to at least get a medium, and then keep that for a while. Eventually, just buy a gold if you can't find one. And then when you get them, they're character bound. So what you do is you like go to the dungeon with somebody, you get a green, okay, use that. Later on you find a purple, okay, use that, and then you break the green. Or you can add it to collection. Collection's a really big thing that unlocks at level 130 from a quest. So you can see these amulets are in collection, and you can earn Bindstone for completing it. So you want to go Orphidia eventually. That's the main thing. So I think that covers all of this. So in general, what you want to do is triple. You don't want to buy one slot ever. Like these are garbage. This is literally garbage. I just have it because I didn't want to spend money, and I found it in a dungeon. So what you want to aim for is like you okay. So it's 2 slot. 2 slots we want to aim for. So these are good. You can get an outrageous, but as I said before, it's character bound. This you can just sell back later. So you buy like 2 slot all the time, and then you want to make it. You can just literally look. You want to make a triple slot for boots. You want to do 1 slot MCR, 2 slot amp. No, it's boots again. It's the same thing for suit. It's 2 slot amp, 1 slot MCR. That's basically it for the slots. And then for weapons and helm, it's a little bit different because you put rate usually into the slot because you don't want to triple slot with the with CD because it's really bad, or amp because it's really bad. So I can extend this with the slot extender. That's how I get the third slot, and then slot it with rate or amp. So the thing with the rate is that there's two stats. Like I've been saying this a lot. There's max critical rate, which this item has because it's masters. That's why masters is good, is because it gives you the additional max critical rate on gloves and suit. So this gives me 2 MCR extra. So I'm at 55 and I don't have enough rate, so I definitely need more rate. But also you can calculate later how much rate you need and how much rate you have. So the basic thing is alright, so you get 50 base. So if I just take this off, you see it drops by 2 because that's max critical rate. And the other 3 I have is from this ruin. So this is really important ruin. You should buy it right away. So I'll just go with the basic, what you can get like with normal gear. So you get the 3 from the ruin. You can get up to 4 from here. So you should just aim that like, yeah, I'm gonna get 3 from here. And then you get 2 from here. So that's 53 plus 3 is 56, 57, 58. So if you're like completely new, you just want to aim for a 58 rate build, you should aim for like 70 or higher in the long run. So other places you can get MCR, like I said, Mastercraft, or you can slot, if I slotted this with MCR to get 2. So I get more later into the game when I can actually slot it and extend it. So you usually just want to slot stuff with amp or MCR. If you're like basically new to the game, it like if it's garbage gear, it doesn't matter. Like do what you want. If you're gonna throw it away, like it doesn't matter. Like I said before, you want to get Vampiric because you want to increase the max HP absorb up. The HP absorb up is from a ruin as well, so you should really get that. So early game, the ruin's kind of expensive, so early game you can just slot let me just show you. Armor gloves. So early game you can buy this if you want, but I'd honestly just buy like something like this and then slot it with HP steal. So that's kind of where you want to aim towards. In specifics, early game, just literally just buy armor or pick it up. It doesn't matter until you're level, I'd say around 100, when you can start wearing Sig Metal. So when you're like level 110, you can get Sig Metal. So you should, like, this is ideal, but it's not necessary early game. What's really necessary is your weapons, because you want to deal damage. This is literally just for living. Well, this is also, no, this is just for living. So the armor is just for living, weapons is for damage. So you want to like be able to actually finish stuff fast. So you want to focus on getting like plus 15 weapons really early game. Like you can just buy Sig at like 110, and then later on from Sig you should not buy any gear. So you just stay at Sig and then don't buy any gear until you equip Palladium. And you should get Outrageous just because it's like super cheap. It's like 30 mil, and it gives you a lot more defense. Like this is 354. This is 308 at plus 7. So if you look at this is plus 6, 399 and 308 is 100 extra defense. It's like a third of it's like 30% of extra defense. What else? Yeah, so you just want to go Palladium because it's cheap. For weapons, it's not cheap. So one slot's fine for like or purple character mount because you're not keeping it forever. Like just buy it for now. Aim for like this, or aim for like 2-slot version of masters, or like a plus 15 piece. So like you know, you can aim for like this and then later on buy an unbound. That's kind of expensive, but yeah, you could buy this. Like this isn't that bad. I wouldn't finish it because it's really expensive to extend it, and also like it's kind of a waste of money. It's just good because you know this is an extra like 9 bill almost. So like going stuff like this is cheap. I would not buy this because it's character bound, and so you'll just have to end up breaking it or like trying to unbind it, which can fail. So if you're gonna get plus 15, make sure it's unbound. If it's extended, it's account bound, and you have to spend a voucher to unbind it so you can use it because it's sealed. So account binding items you can seal, not all of them, but like extended pieces you can seal and then sell or trade, and then and then the other person has to unseal it to use it on their account. That's only for account. Character bound items can't really be transferred. So let's go over most of that. Um, yeah. So basically, just try to like I'll show you weapons too. Let's look at orb. Let's go with palladium. This is really bad because you want the 20 extra the total 20 crit damage from both slots. So you don't want to go one slot. So um yeah, so starting off you can buy like this because this is still better. No, actually, let's check. This is only like 20 mil. Let's check sig metal because sig metal is also easier to plus and you get a higher stat. Yeah, sig metal is kind of expensive. All right, this is like 20 mil, 50 mil for this, and that was 20 mil. So you should basically just go sig. The only nuance to that is force classes get rate from how high their weapon is. So if I was like a FA, I could have like one palladium orb, one sig metal orb. That's just like starting off. Eventually, you want to get like both super like strong highest weapons, or yeah, highest weapons basically. So like both palladium orbs. But starting off, you know, you want to at least go sig, and then buy like a palladium orb because it gives you extra rate on I think all the force classes. So for like magic, for I guess all the magic classes you go orb. That's basically all you go. For uh warrior, it's up to you. I prefer Daikatana. Um, blader, I prefer katana, but it's up to you. And then what are the other classes? You know, gladiator just go chakram. That's why they're super cheap. Uh, so that's all set. Let's just check what they could do. Why doesn't it say which class? That's not what class can use it. Oh, there it is. So Blader, FS, and FB. So FB and FS I really haven't played, so I can't really tell you. Well, I can tell you for sure. Go Crystal, don't go Orb. So FB and FS go Crystal. I'm not sure about Katana or Blade because I had never played them really. So those are types of weapons. When I go again, you want to aim for like highest Palladium weapons, but they're kind of expensive, so it's okay to go Sig starting off. And so that's kind of the start. So you want to work your way up into like something like this and make it into plus 15, or like buy plus 15 and buy plus 15 weapons. Uh, so and then before extending it, you should try to get like a service for divine level and yeah, just divine level and like a scroll because it's a lot cheaper to buy it from people. So these are plus 15. So after plus 15, oh, my inventory's full. No, let's just use this. So if you look at this, for plus 10, I can either go up go down 1 or go down 2. For plus 15, it can only go up. Like, it can still doesn't go down, it just maintains the level. It goes 0 or it goes up, that's it. So, when you buy plus 15, literally immediately you should just try to plus 16 in it unless you're, like, kinda broke. This is plus 16, so plus 16, it can go down. It will not go back down to 14. It's only gonna go back down to 15. So when you get to 17, it can go back to 15, it can go back to 16, or it can go up 1. When you see the 2 here, that's for using superior cores. So superior cores have the chance of going up twice. So you can't use those on plus 14 or plus 19. All the other time you can use them. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so alright, so what's also really important is getting to Transcender. That's like the game doesn't. You're literally not even playing this game if you're not Transcender, because you get all these skills. So what's really important is for armor classes is to have the suppression skill. So Moonstrike for Gladiator, Warriors have Panic Cry, and then Force Shielders have 2. One is their special attack in BM2, and the other one is shield charge. So suppression is really important because this one has a 70% chance to make somebody like unable to do something for 5 seconds. So this can be used on bosses. So that's why that's really important. So skills basically you just want to like just get almost mostly you just use like the completer or transcender skills for this. Okay, it's expensive, so I didn't buy it, but I should. So do you want to buy all the sub skills if you can? So you want to buy all of those, and then transcender. You should. Okay, so there's 2 types of skills. If you go to passive, there's the specialized ones, which you buy all of these no matter what, and that's like okay. This also goes there. So this one you can buy all of them. The common ones is what every class has, and you get to pick and choose which ones you want. So like for specialized, literally buy all of them. For gladiator, it's these 2, this one, this one, this one. Yeah, and that's it. So what books you want to go are for sure you want to for like magic just go this for attack go this, but you should definitely get this this this. Okay, so basically you go attack. What I went is attack rate, uh, attack rate, defense rate, attack. That's what you want to go like end game. Early game will help you a lot more to go defense rate because you'll die a lot less. Like you can mix it up, but defense rate is a lot better than defense because like if you get hit, you take damage, and if you have defense, you take like a little bit less damage. But defense rate, that makes you not like like they miss the attack on you. So taking like 50 less damage is a lot less than straight up missing like dodging like 500 damage. So that's why defense rate's better. Same thing with attack rate, is that like if you're not hitting them, then your damage is 0. So attack rate literally makes you do damage. Like it doesn't increase your like overall it increases your damage, but when it like attack wise, if you attack once and you hit, then you're like, oh, if I had more attack, I did more damage. But if you miss, it's just like, oh, I did no damage because I'm lacking attack rate. So that's what you want to go. You can also go HP and like not have. You should definitely keep these 2. So if you want to keep HP, I would get rid of Sharp Eyes. If you want to be like tankier, get rid of Sharp Eyes and Eyes of Mind, and then take the HP, like Vital Mastery and Damage Absorb, but I don't recommend doing Damage Absorb. It might be good early on because like you don't have a lot of defense rate, but like mid to late game, you definitely want to go defense rate, attack rate, attack. So that's skills. All right, so special skills. This is BM1. This is really only used for war. Like it's not good for most classes. BM2, you want to either use BM3 or BM2 for certain conditions. So for Gladiator, you always want to BM3. The only time you BM2 is when BM3 is on cooldown. So you get this at level 60, you get this at level 130. So what's really important for this class is that you understand. Let me go here. You understand that what Gladiator does, and you want to buy the third Fatal. Because if you only buy one Fatal, that's not much you do. But if you do a second Fatal, it doesn't do much. Third Fatal does a lot more because it spends all of your rage. And I can't find a good example. Alright, let's do this. So I didn't even crit, and I did half its health. So Fatal 3 does a lot of damage in Gladiator, so that's probably the only class you, like, very, like, you need to get it. But other classes you don't need to. So let's go here. So, Warrior, BM3 is better. Blader, BM2 is better. Wizard, BM3. FA, BM2 is better, but their BM3 is also really, really strong just because it's ranged and it does like wide AoE. Force Shielder BM2 is really good because you get that suppress in your skill. But other than that, BM3 is better. BM3, and for Force Blader especially, you can go BM1 because it makes you super tanky. I literally don't know how this works. I don't play Force Blader, but BM1 makes you tanky. That's all I know. Or you want over Gladiator. Force Gunner, their BM2 is good for HP steal. That's why like the other classes like Blader and FA, BM2 is good because they attack a lot faster, and for each attack they're healing like that 35 max HP steal that I showed you, so they heal a lot, and like they do an overall like a lot more damage because they attack so fast. Same thing kind of with Force Gunner and Dark Mage is that their BM2 attacks faster, but I think both their BM3s are stronger. I haven't played them much. Alright, so so if you're not in BM, which you probably should be, you should be comboing at least. So you want to either do like short combo, if it's like single target, if it's like a boss or like one mob that you have to kill. If not, literally just look at your trans skills. Oh my god, just go to trans skills and do AoE stuff. So you're hitting all of them for like, oh man, I messed up. So you want to do AoE when there's like mobs and combo it, and then single target fast skills for a single target. And then also it tells you range, how much it does, so that's useful. And then what else was gonna tell? Oh, it tells the area effect. So this is like AoE, this is AoE, this is AoE. This isn't AoE. This is kind of AoE because it has penetration, so that only hits one. This will hit a few extra because they're in the line. And this is just a fast skill, that's why I use it. This also has a penetration effect. That's what penetration means in terms of that. All right, so yeah, so also like later in the game when you're worrying about this, is that you'll be like, oh man, I have like 59 rate, I have like 59 here, and I have like 61 here. Like, how do I get it? You can just put like one slot of rate, that'll give you two, and then do 2 slots of penetration. Or if you're like, oh, I'm like 50, I'm like 60 out of 60, then you can do 2 slots MCR, 1 slot rate. You get like free rate basically, two extra. So you just want to maximize your rate because this crit damage doesn't do anything if you don't get blue numbers. Like, I got a blue number. So crit damage is nothing there. So I did a lot less damage. These are weak, so it doesn't matter. Also, there's this thing like, okay, I'm really bad at this. So to gap close and like war and stuff, you can do a combo dash and then do a combo. Oh yeah, completely forgot about these. So these are really important. For certain classes, you go with certain things, but the easiest way to tell is to just look at Palladium gear. For Gladiator, look at Palladium Gladiator. Higher plus requires higher stats, so just look at like. So I don't have any plus 15 Palladium. That's why I don't have enough. But so here you look. Oh, I need 97 int, so I should get 97 int. That's all you need. And for other classes, you do the same thing. You look at your weapon, and you look at your gear. What do I need? And then you basically go the least amount of stats you need to wear gear. And then for warrior, you go strength. For FS, you go strength. For gladiator, you go strength. FB, you go dex, and later you go dex. Because if you look here, you can see what stats it gives now. So I don't get attack from dex, but I get attack from strength. So that's why I want to go strength. And then like for a wizard, mage classes, when to max out int, so you get int. And you see these +3 stuff is from ruins, I think. Oh no. Oh, that's from collection. So strength, I have the strength ruin. You also want to get int and dex because it'll increase the other ones, and then you can take out points and put it more into strength or more into int or more into dex. Like dex if you're FB later, and if you're mage, and strength if you're not FB or later and you're like sword class. You also have awakened auras now. Earth aura is the default one that you will always have. The other one you need inner orbs to use, and you need to craft. So there's 4 auras. Ice is for PvE defense. Aqua is PvP defense. Flame is PvP offense. Lightning is PvE offense. So there are different like options in aura that give different kinds of stats. I don't have any on here, so I can't really show you. But that's what that is. So ruins blended is kind of useless if you want. Just buy whatever you want. Cure is really good because it always activates. This only works on PvP because it's on character, and so those are kind of garbage. Don't worry about them. If you want, get it. Doesn't do much. Only activates 2% of the time, 1% of the time, 2% of the time. So ruins, you kind of just want to buy every ruin that you think is worth it. So like amp, attack, MCR, really important, really important, really important. Not as much important, but like okay. Important, 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 really important. This is kind of expensive, so buy it later. Buy this later. Eventually, you need this, but it's really expensive, so don't worry about it. MP you need because there's bosses in the game that make you lose like 1400 MP. So even right now, if I fight that boss, I'll have 0 MP and I can't attack him, so I'll lose. And that's why you also need a vampiric earring, is because they give you HP and MP. So if I had this, I would have an extra 70 MP. Um, yeah, so you need those runes. So you have a cap, but the cap is not a hard cap because there's rune slot centers in the game. So you can get 44 extra slots, but you have to buy this every time, and then you get an extra slot. So you want to buy like every rune you can that you think is useful. If you don't think it's useful, ask somebody if they think it's useful that kind of knows the game. Attack rate, defense rate are good. There's also new runes in the game, like attack rate and defense rate too. You can buy the new runes here, but I don't recommend buying them because it costs you 200 fruit, and you need the fruit to plus the rune. So if you spend 200 here, you're gonna need like 600 more to like plus 15, like max it out. So with runes, you like buy the rune and then you equip it with the AP, and then you have to use more AP to max it, and they're just stats. So this guy doesn't really do anything unless you're, I think 180, not sure. But this stuff, the golden fruit you don't get until you're 200, and you get that from challenge mission, which I don't have it on this character. So you get challenge missions and stuff. So you usually get these every day, no matter what, and they get to choose other stuff. So yeah, so this was basically my old gear. Like this is what I was using until I got this. So I was like, oh yeah, I get the crit rate, I get the damage, but now it's kind of useless. Honestly, I should break it, but I don't care. This is also what I was using, 0 slot garbage, just because I needed the defense and have gear. And this is also what I was using, but now I have plus 15. And you can press Alt to see the difference. So I gain 4 defense, I lose 19 defense rate, lose 70 HP, but I get 16 damage, and 4 is critical damage. I think that's all. Oh, I guess I should explain wings. So another thing that's new to the game is wings, along with collection. So with wings, you need Force Essence to level it up. You can level wings from attacking or from like potions. And then wing training is there's no help guide. So wing training, every 20 levels you get points, and then you use a point. So they give you these stats. It straight up tells you. So I'd recommend this. And just do it. I don't know. Don't worry about that. You can either go this or this. I like this better, so I'm gonna go with that. So right now I can't train it because I need a point. So when I'm wing level 20, I can put a point in and it'll train it. So every 20 levels you get a point. This is normal. It goes normal, rare, epic. So when I hit level 100, I can transcend my wings to rare, and then when I'm 200, I can transcend it to unique. And the cap is 300, so that's unique 100. So to get the wing pots, the main thing to do is run this dungeon when you can. You can run 3 a day, and then when you're wing level 200, you can start running this twice a day. Another important thing is Cube of Wing is really good because it gives you Wing Potion to use DP on. This is really good. And then you basically just get these two or this. Nothing else is really worth it in the shop. So in terms of honor, these are really good. I mean, in terms of collection, these are really good because if you go to where to go, a Carrion Arena, you can collect them and every 30% you get a stat. So I did 64%, so I have a total of I have 10 normal damage from this collection, I think. Let me check. Oh no, I only have 6. So it doesn't add up. This is what I have. So I have 6 normal damage because I did 60%. I have 100%, so I get the full 10 instead of 5. So this one I did at least 30%, so I got 15 penetration. I'll get 25 total once I get 60%. And then you also get these rewards. So there's a lot of stuff to collect. So you can just collect like crap that you get from dungeons and like stack it up. So there's just free stats. It's not extremely necessary early game or even mid game. Just something you should work on, like with random stuff. Like this isn't really worth much, nor is this. Let's just collect it and start filling it up with cheap items. Also, if you see you can collect something, you might want to check the auction house. I'll give a good example. Look at Pet EXP run. You're like, oh, that's not worth anything. It's Pet EXP. It's not good ruin. And it's 13.5 mil because you need 100 for collection. So stuff in collection is worth a lot more. Can't really give an example. Yeah, so like these are like 40 mil before collection came out, I think. So they went up in price. Extortion bracelets went up in price. So if you find something that you can collect, check the auction house first and then see if it's worth something before just collecting it. And then scrolls you should always collect or sell if you want because they're like kind of worth it. But they just give you free stats. So you want to start collecting as much as you can. Like not as much as you can, but like worthless junk that instead of throwing it away, just collect it. And then also for beginners, like all gear that oh, I can't back that up. I should run a dungeon. Nah, it's too much work. So if you like go dungeons and you see you get like random gear. I don't have any example. Okay, so like oh, whoops. So if I get like no, not that. If I get this in a dungeon, this might be worth something because it's 2 slot. So I'm like, oh, I should check the auction house and see if it's worth something. And that's because it's 2 slot blue. That means you can craft it. Like, that's the requirement. It has to be 2 slot blue of any grade. Other items, like this is 1 slot, so it's garbage. You need 2 slot now. And then any like, so just like check age. You'll basically figure out what's like worth getting for options, what's not. This video is long as hell, so I'm just going to end it there. If you have more questions, just leave comments. Alright, bye.